Hey there, my pixel-punching, combo-crushing warriors! Today we're diving into the electrifying world of Mortal Kombat II, the game that took the arcade scene by storm with its uppercuts and fatalities. Get ready to have your minds blown as fast as Sub-Zero can say, "Finish him!" Because we're about to unleash some of the most spine-tingling secrets this side of Outworld. Behind every great game is a team of dedicated, caffeine-fueled developers, and Mortal Kombat 2 is no exception. The original Mortal Kombat game had already turned heads and stomachs with its intense violence and gore, but its sequel was where the magic really happened. Enter Ed Boon and John Tobias, the dynamic duo who spearheaded this ambitious project. Ed Boon, the programming wizard, and John Tobias, the artistic mastermind, set out to create a sequel that not only expanded on the original but blew it out of the water. Their mission was clear: more characters, more moves, and more over-the-top violence that fans loved. But this was no small feat. The development team operating under Midway Games faced a mountain of challenges. From technical limitations to tight deadlines, every step was a battle. One of the most fascinating aspects of the game's development was its use of digitized actors. This innovative technique involved filming real actors performing martial arts moves and then converting these recordings into sprites. This gave the game a level of realism that was unprecedented until their first game. Actors like Daniel Pensina, who portrayed Johnny Cage, as well as the ninjas Sub-Zero, Scorpion, Reptile, and Smoke, became the literal faces of the franchise. Now, let's talk controversy. Mortal Kombat 2 was developed in an era where video game violence was a hot-button issue. The original game had already sparked a public outcry and even led to the creation of the Entertainment Software Rating Board, otherwise known as ESRB. The sequel didn't shy away from its roots. It doubled down on the gore. This move wasn't just for shock value, it was a calculated risk. Boon and Tobias knew their audience craved more brutal fatalities, and they delivered in spades. The development process wasn't just about blood and guts, though. Boon and Tobias were meticulous about gameplay mechanics. They wanted to ensure that the game was not only visually stunning, but also mechanically sound. They introduced new features like combo attacks and expanded special moves, which required intricate coding and rigorous testing. This attention to detail paid off, making Mortal Kombat 2 a hit not just in terms of sales, but also in the eyes of critics who praised its depth and complexity. However, the road wasn't entirely smooth. The pressure to top the original game was immense, and the team often worked long, grueling hours. Stories from the development phase include everything from hardware failures to last-minute changes, which were all part of the gritty reality of game development. Despite these challenges, Boon and Tobias' leadership kept the team focused and motivated, driving them to create what will become one of the most iconic fighting games of all time. And let's not forget the legendary marketing campaign. Midway knew they had a hit on their hands and poured resources into promoting the game. From arcade posters to magazine ads, the hype was real and palpable. The anticipation built to a fever pitch, making the game's release a major event in the gaming community. But it's the story of Mortal Kombat 2 that's a dark and twisted journey driving deeper into the mythos of the Mortal Kombat universe. Picking up where the first game left off, MK2 takes players from the Earth realm to the sinister and foreboding Outworld, ruled by the tyrannical Emperor Shao Kahn. The plot revolves around Shao Kahn's relentless ambition to conquer Earthrealm. After his champion, Shang Tsung, loses the Mortal Kombat tournament, Kahn gives the sorcerer a second chance. Shung's new plan is to lure Earth's warriors into the Outworld for a final showdown. To ensure his victory, Shung is rejuvenated into a younger form and gains new powers, making him a formidable foe once again. The roster of Mortal Kombat 2 introduced several new characters, each with their own backstory and motives, adding depth to the game's narrative. Liu Kang, the Shaolin monk and hero from the first game, returns to stop Shao Kahn's invasion. His determination and combat skills are unmatched, driven by a sense of duty to protect Earthrealm. Johnny Cage, the Hollywood actor turned martial artist, is back with his ego and flashy moves. His comedic arrogance provides a lighthearted contrast to the game's otherwise grim tone. Sonya Blade, introduced in the original Mortal Kombat, is not a playable character in MK2 and is depicted as captured alongside Kano, motivating other characters to venture into Outworld. New to the scene are characters like Kung Lao, who seeks to restore his family's honor. His razor-edged hat and acrobatic fighting style make him a standout character. Then there's Jax, Sonya's partner, who enters the tournament to rescue her, showcasing his raw strength and determination. We also meet Katana, the mysterious and deadly assassin who serves Shao Kahn but is conflicted about her loyalty. Her complex relationship with her clone, Mileena, who was created by Shang Tsung, adds an intriguing layer of rivalry and betrayal. The game hints at their deeper connection, which is explored more fully in later installments. Scorpion and Sub-Zero, two of the most iconic ninjas in gaming history, return with their own story arcs. Scorpion, the resurrected Spectre, continues his quest for vengeance. The Sub-Zero appearing in MK2 is the younger brother of the original Sub-Zero, Kuai Liang, who seeks to honor his slain brother and clear their family name. Reptile, Baraka, and Shang Tsung himself add to the rich tapestry of characters. Reptile, with his reptilian features and acid attacks, is a secretive and loyal servant to Shao Kahn. Baraka, with his terrifying Tarakatan blades, embodies the brutal and savage nature of Outworld's inhabitants. Shang Tsung, now rejuvenated and even more powerful, remains a cunning and manipulative sorcerer. The game's narrative is not just about the battles, but the intertwining destinies of these warriors. Each character's ending in the arcade version provide a unique glimpse into their future, depending on who the player completed the game with. These endings often hinted at a broader plotline and future conflicts, keeping fans eagerly anticipating the next installment. But continuing to build on the foundation of the original Mortal Kombat, MK2 introduced several key enhancements that made the game experience more dynamic and engaging. One of the most significant changes was the introduction of new moves and combos. Each character now had a wider range of special attacks, allowing for more varied and strategic combat. These moves were not just flashy, they required precision timing and execution, rewarding skilled players with devastating results. The addition of crouching punches, sweeps, and roundhouse kicks added depth to the fighting mechanics, making battles feel more fluid and intense. Fatalities, the series' signature finishing moves, were back and bloodier than ever. Boone and Tobias knew that players loved these brutal finishers, so they expanded the roster of fatalities for each character. Whether it was Scorpion's fiery demise or Sub-Zero's spine rip, these moves became legendary. The introduction of babalities and friendships added a humorous twist, giving players the option to end matches in unexpected ways. Because who doesn't love turning their opponent into a baby and giving them a flower? Speaking of unexpected, if you're enjoying this deep dive into Mortal Kombat 2, why not hit that like and subscribe button? It's easier than pulling a fatality, and it won't leave you with a bloody mess to clean up. Now back to the action. The game also introduced stage-specific fatalities, known simply as stage fatalities. Creative, right? These allowed players to use their environment to finish off the opponents in gruesome ways, such as knocking them into a pit of spikes or dunking them into a pool of acid. This feature added another layer of strategy, as players had to position their opponents correctly to execute these moves. The controls were refined to be more responsive, making it easier for players to perform complex combos and special moves. This refinement was crucial, as it balanced the game for both casual and hardcore enthusiasts. The balancing of characters was also given significant attention. The development team worked hard to ensure that no single character was overwhelmingly powerful, making the game more competitive. Each fighter had strengths and weaknesses, encouraging players to master multiple characters and develop different strategies. Multiplayer mode was another area where MK2 excelled. The thrill of facing off against another human opponent in the arcade was unparalleled. The competitive nature of the game led to intense battles, with players often drawing crowds to watch in epic duels. The game's popularity in arcades also translated to home consoles, where players could practice and hone their skills. And speaking of skills, upon its release in 1993, Mortal Kombat II was an instant commercial success. In the first week alone, the game ranked in an impressive 50 million. The demand was so high that arcades reported record-breaking earnings, with some machines pulling in over 1,000 a week. When it eventually hit home consoles in 1994, it dominated the charts. The Super Nintendo Entertainment System and Sega Genesis versions sold millions of copies, cementing the game's status as a bestseller. By the end of its run, Mortal Kombat II had sold over 3 million copies worldwide, making it one of the highest-grossing arcade games of its time. The game's success wasn't just measured in dollars and cents, though. It had a profound cultural impact. Mortal Kombat II became a pop culture phenomenon, referenced in TV shows, movies, and even music. It was the topic of heated discussions on the playgrounds and in break rooms, and its characters became household names. The iconic catchphrases like "Finish him" and "Fatality" entered the vernacular used by gamers and non-gamers alike. But it's MK2's lesser-known facts that add layers of depth and intrigue to the game. First off, let's talk about the secret characters. Mortal Kombat 2 introduced gamers to secret fights, which could be triggered under specific conditions. One of the most famous is the battle against Smoke. Players could encounter Smoke by pressing the down and start buttons simultaneously when Dan Forden, an audio programmer for the game, appears in the bottom right corner of the screen and says "Toasty" during a match. This quirky secret not only surprised players, but also added a layer of mystique and replayability to the game. Another hidden gem involves Jade, a mysterious green-clad fighter. Players could fight Jade by winning the match before the one that starts with the question mark, using only low kicks and no other form of attack. Jade was tougher than the average fighter, and defeating her required both skill and strategic planning. Her inclusion as a secret character added a unique challenge and became a beloved aspect of the game. Mortal Kombat 2 also includes a variety of hidden messages and codes. The game features several cheat codes that can be entered at the start screen to unlock different effects, such as disabling the timer or enabling different gameplay modes. These codes were often shared among players through gaming magazines and word of mouth, fostering a communal sense of discovery and shared secrets. So whether you're pulling off a flawless victory or just here for the spine-ripping fatalities, Mortal Kombat 2 remains a bloody good time in the history of gaming. Remember kids, if you ever find yourself facing off against a four-armed Shokan in a dark alley, just hope you've got enough quarters. Until next time, stay toasty. If you enjoyed jumping back in the ring with Mortal Kombat 2, click this video here to see more from the Retro Reload. And as always, thank you for watching.